Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? It's theRealKaaayle back again with some Mortal Kombat 1 content. Hope you guys are doing great. It's been a great week so far from Mortal Kombat stuff going on. I think later today we're going to have a combat cast breaking down Sindel, Rain, and Shao Kahn. Looking forward to that. Stay tuned for the channel where I go over what is shown in that combat cast. We're definitely going to break that down and go in depth with it. But really good stuff. We're getting closer and closer. And with how busy this week has been, before this week gets too crazy, I want to give my final thoughts on the Mortal Kombat 1 beta. This past weekend, we played a lot of the game. I think I put about 20 hours into the beta. Played, I'm mainly focused on the two characters that were not in the stress test, and that was Johnny Cage and Li Mei. I played like 2 games with Liu Kang and probably 2 games with Sub-Zero. I wasn't really trying to play with them like that. I really wanted to get a grasp of the other characters and make content for you guys. But mainly just want to give my thoughts on it and basically final feedback. Because remember, it is a beta. They could definitely make some changes and they want feedback for the game. So I implore you guys to do so. Do it respectfully. Whatever outlet you guys find it. Could it be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? Just be respectful. Also be clear and concise. So that's what we're going to try to do today. So overall, beta was way better than the stress test. Way better. And it was better for 2 reasons. 3 reasons. Well, one, I really did enjoy Li Mei and Johnny. I really enjoyed them. I enjoyed them more than, I would say definitely more than Sub-Zero and Liu Kang. I definitely did. I think I enjoyed both of them more. Second reason, the net play was better. Whatever changes they did to the game's net code, I found myself having a lot better consistent matches. When it did lag, it was mainly because someone was on Wi-Fi or they just had bad ping. Basically, that's it. But the connections were very good, very stable. That's basically an NRS expectation, having good online. But lastly, the big improvement they made from the stress test was the movement, guys. And yes, our complaining, quote unquote complaining, but our feedback on the movement was definitely heard loud and clear. They definitely enhanced the movement. There's less recovery in between dashes, and there's dash blocking now. So you could cancel a dash now with the block button, and you can essentially wave dash in this game. It's really friggin' good. Like, you can blitz across the screen, you can blitz backward. Sometimes I feel like back dashing has more space than forward dashing, which is a bit weird. We're gonna get more into that. I have some small critiques about the movement still, even though it's good, but it's very good. Like I said in the stress test review, I said if they do not change this movement, I really do think it's going to have a detriment effect to the overall game and the quality of the game, because MK1 felt slow. I actually did felt MK11 felt faster. Now, I would say the game is just a little bit faster than MK11, and that's only because of the movement. Every character can do it. Wave dashing is not like exclusive to like certain characters like in MK11. But my issue with the movement now, it's very small. I feel like they might not change it upon release, but if they could just increase the distance traveled on a regular dash without canceling it, just increase the regular distance of a dash, then the movement would be perfect. It's not the speed anymore. I do think the regular dashes, they just don't move up. They don't lunge further enough. And I feel like once they increase that, and then with the dash blocking, the movement is going to be absolutely crazy. Also, it will just make linking like certain combos. Like sometimes the dashes just felt freaking off sometimes when you were trying to dash in and do dash combos. But you know, that could just be, you know, just getting used to the game. But I definitely could get used to it now if they don't change it. But I do think like the distance for some dashes just feels a bit hollow, and it almost feels like you need to dash block to do it. I feel like dash blocking should be more high advanced stuff. You don't necessarily need it as a requirement. It's something that for us tryhards, we like doing it because it's fun and it makes the game more competitive and it makes the game more interesting to watch. There's more interesting neutral play happening on the screen when people are able to wave dash. But I do think regular dashes need a bit improvement. Other than that, it'll be perfect. But let's get into the characters. I want to talk about the characters, the new ones, for a bit. Johnny was fantastic. He was a lot of fun, albeit he was pretty hard to use in this game. I think his combo potential, I was honestly getting overloaded with so many options and so much stuff to do with him. I found getting hype very risky. I don't know what players people fought against, because when I watched other people's gameplay of people online, they were not punishing them for doing the taunting at all. People were just letting it slide. The players that I fought, they were not letting it slide. If I even taunted, I was getting comboed. If I did the shadow kick to knock them down and taunted, everybody got up off the ground with their wake up. Like, the wake ups have a lot of distance. Like, slide has a lot of distance. Lee May's chain reaction, that's her back forward 4, that has a lot of distance. I think Kenshi has a long range, like, ghost attack. Liu Kang has the dragon kick. Like, everybody had a way to, like, hit you for taunting, and it was so frustrating that I couldn't really just taunt and just let me get my meter. Also, when I got hype, I found it very difficult to get hype and then do my shit from it, because people would just start running away, or they'll try to throw you, and when they throw you, you can't do much because that's just winding down the clock. But it was a bit challenging to master him, but like the basic kit of Johnny is really, really good. You see some of the gameplay here and some of the gameplay that I'm going to be uploading throughout the channel. I'm going to definitely get better with him, but I'm happy that my MK11 main, I would say he's definitely more fun than MK11, and he's very complex. I don't think he's going to be a character for beginners at all. Although you can do some simple stuff with him to maximize his potential, you're definitely going to need some execution, and you need to have a solid understanding of his neutral and a solid understanding of the game overall. So I think he's probably going to be the most fun character to watch, honestly. Like, I like seeing clips of like Johnny doing hype combos. They were like trending all weekend. People were just coming up with crazy stuff, y'all. So it was awesome. It was awesome playing Johnny. Lee May surprised me. I never look. Y'all know I wasn't too crazy about the 3D era of MK. I'm glad that she's in this game. She was one of the 3D era characters I would have liked to have seen, but they did her so well. The big thing about her, she has no mids, guys, and that kind of threw me off for a bit. She had no mids, but once you start playing with her more, you really start to understand how like her neutral game works. She kind of has like a very good stagger and pressure potential up close, because a lot of her buttons leave her plus. They have a little bit of pushback, but they leave her plus. I think she's going to be a character that really does heavily depend on a cameo, though. The ones that we mostly saw with Lee May was Frost, because she had a forward advancing low, which was her forward 4, 16 frames. But then she also had a string that could cancel that forward 4 into an overhead. So it was forward 4-4. That would be an overhead, completely safe on block, gives you a little bit of knockdown. But then her forward 4-3 would give you the pop up. That's like a low mid that could go into full combo. But when you add Frost, right, you basically add a low overhead mix up onto that. And if they block low, you get the punish, because Frost's ISOs are low. But if they are blocking standard and expecting the overhead, you could go for Frost to freeze the opponent, and then you're getting a big Lee May combo. And Lee May does like 30% per touch, and with her combos are so satisfying to hit. I think I was definitely better with Lee May than Johnny, but Lee May overall, she seems to be a very pick up and play character. She works pretty well with Kano, and no, not Kano. She worked pretty well with Jax and Sonya from what I'm seeing, but her combos change dramatically once you have, depending on what cameo you use. And that is the big thing about this game. The very, very big thing about MK1 is the cameos. The cameos, guys, are really the bread and butter for this game. I'm gonna go off in a little bit of a tangent right here now and get back to the feedback overall. But with the combo videos that I uploaded over the weekend, I saw a lot of people saying that they had a very tough time doing combos in this game, and they had a very tough time figuring out how to link all this stuff. And I've seen people saying that they felt like the cameos were overwhelming, like they felt like it was very complicated. And my retort to that is you guys all need to relax and give it a chance. Give it a chance. This game is way more complicated and it's way harder than MK11. MK11 was very, very simple. I really do think if you've played Mortal Kombat games before, you can figure that game out basically in one lengthy play session. There really wasn't much to see after the initial stress test. I remember MK11 after that stress test where I played the crap out of it. And then the beta, I think I only played for like 2 days, and I was like, okay, I had my fill. Just give me the game. I wasn't on the beta as much as I was the stress test because I really felt like I felt like I had enough. I was like, I just need to play the character that I want to play now, and then that's it. This game has so much replay value, and there's so much to explore just because of the cameos. On top of that, the characters have so many moves. Like there's a reason why no one played Kenshi over the beta weekend, because he is a way more complicated character to be playing in a 3-day beta when you want to figure things out. I'm glad that they added the towers for us. If this game didn't have the beta, didn't have towers, it would have been a rough time. People had some pretty just so to bad records online. Like nobody was really out here just completely dominating this beta. This game is much harder than MK11, and I think people coming from MK11 are kind of expecting to hop on this and just have it play like MK11 2, and that's not the case. The comboing, it works the way the combo, specifically the way EX works. I cannot tell you how many times I was asked this over the weekend. The way EXing works, it works just like MKX, where you have to press the EX button the same time you're doing the input for the move. You can't just do the move and then press the EX button afterward like MK11. I actually prefer the way it's done here as opposed to MK11 because I think it's important to just have players commit to things. Commit to things so that they could get opened up and stop this like very safe, if this happens, then do this type of play style. That's not what MK1 is trying to be. I think some people think that the assists were supposed to be similar to like Marvel vs. Capcom or like an anime fighter where you could just call them in on an unsafe string to keep yourself safe, to get block strings and stuff like that. I'm glad that this game does not play that way. I think some people want the assist to play that way, but that's not how this works. It still feels like Mortal Kombat. The cameos are meant really for neutral, like getting you into neutral, getting you out of situations, setting up situations, or extending combos. They actually, yeah, someone did explain it that way. Oop, my phone vibrated. Someone did explain it on the channel. They felt disappointed about the cameos because they just felt like just bonus special moves, but that's exactly what they are, and that's exactly what they should be. That's exactly what they're going for. If that's not your cup of tea, I'm sorry guys. If you're not with the cameo system, I really don't think you're gonna like MK1. MK1 is the meat and potatoes of this game. I really do think the game would be dry and boring without it, even though the characters have a lot of moves and a lot more possibilities with it. But the fun of the game really was the cameos for me, and it's crazy how that small feature just opens up the game so much. It's not a small feature, but it seems small on paper, but it really does open it up tremendously. I've seen people ask if they wanted a mode where it's just the character. I'm open to that, and I would accept it. I would accept a game mode where it's just the character, your fighter character, against another fighter character. That would make a good game mode just for the sake of variety. But that's all it would be for the sake of variety, because the real variety is playing with the cameos. The game is just way better with that, and it's way more fun, plain and simple. But anyways, back to the regular feedback. We got dashes out the way. The characters were great. The next thing I really want for this game, I really do not like the slowdown when you win a match. I hate the slowdown. It was in MK11, and I didn't like it then. I really don't like the slowdown. I feel like it's worse in this game. And it's really, really annoying because when you end the game and you're trying to do these cool, fancy combos, to end the game in style. It just fucks you up. It just fucks up your input. It fucks up what you're gonna do next. It messes it up. It's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary thing they're doing for presentation that is not helping the game at all. What MKX did was better. MKX, once your opponent's life part depleted to 0, the game just kept playing as if your opponent had life until you dropped the combo, and then it said finish him, then you finish the opponent. That's fine. Just take out the slow-mo. It's not needed. It's not even that cool, honestly. You could keep the slow-mo in between rounds, but once the game is done, get rid of that. I don't like it at all. Because once we have all the brutalities unlocked, it's going to make it very hard to get all those brutalities together. Especially, that was a big problem in MK11. And it's honestly very disappointing to see it back in this game right now. Alright, moving on. Let's talk about Fatal Blows. So, Fatal Blows are way nerfed compared to MK11. You guys know the big difference. Startup animation now, so you could easily react to it instead of getting flinched by a fatal blow. No armor immediately, so you can poke people out of it. You can use a breaker on a fatal blow, so they're not always guaranteed. But they still come back on block. If they're blocked or whiff, they still come back. Yes. And there's something, the pushback is still there. The pushback is still there. I don't like that. I really do think fatal blows should have no pushback. Or if they don't, when they want to have a little bit of pushback, it simply needs to be reduced. They feel a bit more punishable, but I think that's more feeling. The pushback is insane still. And I feel like there's a lot of block stun on it. I feel like there's really a lot of block stun. So when you try to dash in and do a button, if you just can't, and you just miss your punish just barely, especially when you factor in netcode and online play. It's not consistent. I personally think if you manage to block a fatal blow or whiff it, your opponent should be dead. Like Street Fighter 6 has supers, and using super on wake up or randomly is that's a very like sound strategy in that game. But when the super is whiffed or when you're blocked, that person who just did a super is dead. They can legit walk up to you and kill you for it. This game, you still can't do it. You have to do like a very specific dash, go in and punish. I don't like that. I think they should have no pushback whatsoever. Branching off of that, what if I told you guys I think fatal blow damage needs to be improved? Yes, I do think the damage on fatal blows need to be improved, specifically in combos. The scaling in this game with fatal blows on combos is so dramatic. It only like doing like a regular bread and butter combo and then ending it with your fatal blow is almost not worth it at all in this game, especially since fatal blows can be breakered. It's almost not worth it because you're only getting just a little bit more damage. Like things that I felt like would have killed in MK11 with the fatal blow combo just were not killing in this game, and it was just baffling. And you're seeing like the character's neck getting broken, like they're getting just their bones are snapping, they're getting just absolutely demolished, and you're seeing the damage. Like literally like the combo string that you use to start the combo is doing way more damage than the fatal blow. Just ending your combo normally did more damage than ending your combo with a fatal blow. And I just think it just doesn't make sense for the game, for a game to have so much combo potential, so many different routes and paths that you can take. It does not make sense that the ending your combo with a fatal blow scales it down so much. I think they need to just increase the overall damage, to reduce the scaling on the fatal blows and combos, and just maybe make them do bare minimum 8 to 10% extra damage, bare minimum, on a combo. There's no reason why I should have to shorten my combo just to make sure that my fatal blow does a lot. Because in this current state, the way fatal blows work, it only really makes sense to use a fatal blow in the end of the combo, which is good. That's what I wanted. But they need to just hit harder. They need to be a fatal blow, a finisher, basically. So reduce that scaling, and then Fatal Blows would be perfect, as well as reduce that pushback on block. All right, the next thing that I think that MK11 needs to address, and this is something that I really don't think they're gonna address, but I feel like it needs to be said, and I'm seeing a little bit more people say this, specifically like, you know, more hardcore fans. The game speed is good, but it still needs to just be sped up just a bit. And I think it's mainly attached to the way the combo strings work. The strings in this game come out way slower than any Mortal Kombat game, any NRS game, believe it or not. And it's so weird because when you check the frame data, the moves, they don't look that different from the frame data of other moves in their previous games, but for some reason their animations just linger for so long. Like, they just take so long to come out all the attacks. I feel like the game speed would just improve so much just because of that. The best examples that I could give here would be like Sub-Zero's stand 1-2. Like, Sub-Zero does like one hit and then he just comes out with like another hit so slow. That string just feels so slow, and that's one of his best punishing buttons in the game. Stand 1-2. It honestly was tripping me up too. I've noticed, I was like, sometimes I felt like I was just like getting hit by just random moves, and I was like, wait, that guy was still attacking me, and I was just like, I'm trying to poke, or I'm trying to like get my move out, and it's because his string is not done. His string is still going. I feel like the active frames of the moves are just too high. They just need the speed. The moves need to come out just a little bit faster. The way the strings pace throughout the game, they just need to just come out just a bit faster. I think I saw a Twitter post on this from a user, and I 100% agree. I wonder if you guys feel the same way, but I feel like that's the only other thing that would just make this game basically perfect. I can't really figure out too much other than like typical bugs and glitches that I've seen online, which I'm not really worried about, because they usually are able to iron those out. And the bugs and glitches that we were able to find, they're mostly like comical stuff, but they didn't happen very often. They didn't really happen to me, but it happened enough that you saw clips of it online. But that's basically all I have for you guys for the MK1 beta. I thought the beta was a fantastic experience. I had a blast with it. I think my favorite character was Johnny, but my best character was Li Mei, and I really like both of them. I honestly am in a bit of a character crisis of who am I gonna play in this game, but I know I'm gonna have Smoke in my arsenal, so I'm gonna start with Smoke when this game comes out. Yeah, netcode was great. It was still fun as hell. That's about it. The movement was good, but it could be just improved just a little bit with increasing the dash distances. Take away that Fatal Blow pushback on block, increase the damage on Fatal Blows at the end of combos, and just speed up the frame pacing of the combo strings. And I think this game is going to be in a good state on day one launch. Just for iron out the bugs, iron out the glitches, improve the netcode, smoothing it out. You know, the booster pack, the booster shot for the game. Give it the booster shot and then make those changes, and I think this game would be perfect, y'all. But let me know what you guys think about the MK1 beta. How'd you guys experience it? What was your experience with it? Who were your favorite characters to play as? What is one thing you absolutely hated? Did you enjoy the cameos? Do you see yourself playing this game for the long run? So let me know. Sound off in the comment section and share your feedback with NRS. Stay tuned for more MK1 content, everyone. Have a great day. Peace.